Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. This is a really special tutorial for me because today it's my birthday. As you know, my name is Mr. 23 and that's because I am born on June 23. So I really hope that you like this tutorial because it represents a lot to me. First of all, I love cats. Who doesn't love cats? I own a cat. Her name is Suki. And as a person, I'm really chill and relaxed, and this design represents the way I feel. And one more thing, please leave me a message with your guessing how old do you think I just turned today. Alright, so let's begin the tutorial. So I started with this picture, and then on top I added another picture with this background, this environment, where I added a mask and kept only the bottom part. And then on top I added this sky or galaxy picture. Let me show you. It looks like that. So this one, and I set the blending mode to soft light, and I added a mask and kept only the top part. And then I added another picture, this one with those clouds, so it looked like that. I just added a mask and masked the top part. Then I added another picture, this picture, and I kept only the right part, and I set the blending mode to screen. So I wanted to have this little planet on the top part, top right part. And then I added another one, this picture, with another galaxy, and I added a mask, same, set the blending mode to screen. And then I added this one, this planet, same, it looked like that, and I kept only the planet and set the blending mode to screen. And then on top of everything I added this grass picture. It was a picture like that, and I added a mask, and that was the preparation for my background. So I have this bridge, and the original picture was, let me double click on the smart object. The original picture was like that, and then I stretch it and added a mask and kept only the bridge part. So let me show you how to do this. So let's duplicate this layer, and you have this picture. Let's press Ctrl T and then right click on the image and choose perspective, and hold shift, and on the top part just drag the corners you see in the middle, and it will stretch that picture, and you will add this perspective to the picture. And then you can use a mask, or you can use the pen tool, for example, and you can keep only the bridge part, and that's how you add a perspective to your image. So after you select the bridge, right click and choose make selection, then hit OK and click on the mask, and here it is, it's your bridge selected. So that's how I did that bridge here. Alright, so we have this bridge selected, and then as I said, I added a mask, and I wanted to have the bridge like that. And then I added a brightness and contrast adjustment to have only the bottom part more dark, and the top part should have the same light. So it's easy, just go here on the adjustment layers, choose brightness and contrast, and be sure that you click this icon to insert this adjustment inside your picture with the bridge. And then decrease the brightness, something like that, and by using a brush, so press letter B, the letter B, and with the black color selected, and the flow should be around 10%, you start to paint. And on the top part, I just said I wanted to have the normal light, and here on the bottom part I wanted to have more darkness. First of all, I added the stairs. This is just a copy from another picture, and I repeated the stairs. I don't have the picture right now, but as I remember, I think I had something like that, a square, a rectangle from a picture. Let me copy it and paste it. So I started with a picture like that I took from another image that I had with some stairs, and I just duplicate by pressing Ctrl J and dragged that layer to the right, and then I repeated the process by holding Alt and drag that layer, and I multiplied the stairs something like that, and yeah, that was it. By the end of this tutorial those stairs won't be visible, so I just wanted to show you how I created them. So those are the stairs that I had, and then I wanted to have some flowers behind the stairs, and I added those flowers that I had from FreePic. They already cut as PNG files, and I multiplied them 2 times, and yeah, this is what I have so far. And I added brightness and contrast again to have some darkness in the bottom part. And then on behind the stairs, but actually the layer is on top, I added this fog to have that part with the mountains and planet less visible. So this is really easy. You just create a new layer, take the brush tool and hold Alt, click on a color from the background, and start to paint around something like that. And yeah, this is how you create something like a foggy layer. So we have this picture with a cat. Actually the picture was something like that on a white background. So now let me explain you how to select this cat if you don't know how to do it. So the easiest way is go to select, here choose color range, and click on the white part, and if you hit OK, it will select everything around the cat. So then if you press the mask, you'll have something like that. So you need to press Ctrl and I to invert the mask, and here it is. But if you go underneath and add an empty layer, which let's say it's black, you'll see that our cat has some white parts that don't look that well. There are a lot of ways in get rid of those white parts. One way that I loved and I explained in my last tutorial is to use the clone stamp tool. So if you create a new layer, and between those layers, the new layer and the cat layer for example, you hold Alt, you'll add this layer inside the cat layer. So now if we take the clone stamp tool, alright, and let's increase the brush size. Now if I zoom in so you can see better. Now if you hold Alt and click on this area for example, and then you release, you can paint on the sides. It will add that part that you cloned before. So this is really nice, it's simple, and you can do it to all your selections that do not look that well. Alright, so this is how I selected the cat. Then I added some darkness to the cat by using this soft light layer. You go to layer, new layer, but the important thing here is the mode. You should set it to soft light and then fill it with 50% gray. And then with the brush tool, the black color, it will darken the parts, and the white color, it will lighten the parts. So now if I use the black color and I'm starting to paint, you'll see that it will make those parts where I'm painting more dark, and that it's really nice, because if you have some rim lights that you want to add, it's important to have some dodge and burn before applying that rim light or those highlights. Alright, so this is this layer, and then I added again some brightness and contrast to have again more dark parts on the cat. And then with the hue and saturation, as I do in almost all my tutorials or my designs, if I have something like a cat or a panther or I don't know, a lion, I change the eyes, and this is done by using the overlay, blending mode, and hue and saturation. So let me quickly explain you. You add a hue and saturation layer. Here you press colorize and you choose your color. For example, if you want, let's say, to have some purple eyes, something like that, you can do that. So, and then change the blending mode to overlay. And here on the mask, you should invert the mask to have the mask black. So press Ctrl and I and everything will disappear. That means you just apply the mask. Then take again the brush tool, and here on the eyes, let's zoom in, change the color to white and just paint around the eyes, and you'll change their color to that color that you have. And a really nice thing about this overlay and hue and saturation is that you can change the color anytime you want to any color that you prefer. And of course, underneath the cat we have a shadow, because of course she should cast a shadow underneath her, and that's really easy. As I do almost in all my designs, I create a new layer and set the blending mode to multiply. That's the way I do my shadows. And then I take the brush tool and I right click on the screen and I drag this top point to have something like an oval. And then by holding Alt, I choose a color from the background, let's say this one, and I'm starting to paint underneath the cat, and that's the contact shadow. Of course, the cat will have another big shadow. And let's go to the wings part. Here we have those wings. They were like that on a white background. Go to again to select color range and click on the white part, and it will make a selection. That's really easy. And then you press the mask and you'll have this result. All right, so this is the way I selected the wings, and I place the wings behind the cat. Of course, our wings are bluish and I want to have them like in the same color tones as my cat. So for that I added a selective color and I changed the neutrals. I set the blending mode to color, not normal. You see, the normal does that and color does that. All right, so I loved more color. All right, and then I added hue and saturation and I changed the colors. I desaturated a lot the colors, and of course the hue was on the orange side. And I used the mask and painted a bit to have the color that we set here on selective color. I kept it on the sides of the wings, and then I added some shadows underneath the cat where the wings should touch her little body or big body, because she is huge in this design. And I just explain you on the shadows part how to do this. Is a normal layer set to multiply, and then you paint with the black color behind the cat. All right, and then on the highlights part, I didn't do that much. It's a linear dodge layer, and then I paint it with white color on the sides of the wings on the top part. So if you don't know how to do this, it's the same method. Go to layer, new layer. Here, choose the blending mode, this time to linear dodge, and fill it with black. And be sure that you add this one by holding Alt to affect only the wings. And then switch to the brush tool and choose a normal brush, soft brush, decrease the size of the brush. The flow should be maximum 10% or even less. And if you paint like that on the sides, it will add that really nice rim light or reflection of the light that comes from behind the wings and the cat. And behind everything, the cat and the wings, I added some glow. Let me zoom out. So this is with the glow, this is without the glow. It's something really small, but it makes a bit of difference. So usually when I do something like that, I create a new layer and set the blending mode to color dodge. And here the same with the brush tool. I hold Alt and click on a background color, let's say this one, and then I start to click around to paint with that color. And as I said, the layer should be set to color dodge, and this is how I created that glow behind the cat. Alright, so this is what we have so far, and now I added everything into one group. So the cat with the wings, they are inside one group, and I added a new hue and saturation, something like that, and I changed the colors of the cat with everything. So let me explain you how I did this change, this color change. So you create a new hue and saturation layer, hit colorize, and if you increase the saturation and change the hue and of course the lightness, you'll have this color. And then let's invert the mask by pressing Ctrl and I, and we are back to the original color. And now with the white color selected and of course the brush, if you paint on some areas, you'll bring that color that you just changed. So this is how I change the colors of the cat by using this hue and saturation. Alright, so this is what we have, and then I added a curves adjustment layer and I increase a bit the lights on my cat. So yeah, this is what we have so far, and on top of everything I added another glow that this time was set to overlay. Let's see how I created this. Create a new layer and of course, as I said, set it to overlay. And then take again the brush tool and let's use orange color, something like that. And if you paint on top, you'll have this really nice glow, and I just love to do that because it brings a lot of color to our design. Then I added this picture with the stairs. The original picture was like that, and I just kept the stairs part and added a mask, and I just placed this layer on top of everything that we have so far. Alright, and I changed the colors of those stairs by using a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and I decreased the saturation a lot. And then I added a brightness and contrast and decreased the brightness, increasing the contrast of course, and this is the result that we have so far. And with the dodge and burn, I added some more darkness with the black color, and I painted on the sides of the stairs and I made those parts darken. And then I added a shadow to my cat because the cat and the wings should have a shadow. If you want to select both the cat and the wings, you should hold Ctrl and click on the thumbnail of the cat and you have selected the cat. Go again to the layer with the wings and hold again Ctrl and Shift and press again on the thumbnail, and now you have selected both the cat and the wings. And now we go on top of the stairs because the shadow should be on top of the stairs. Create a new layer and press the letter G to take the paint bucket tool and select a color from the stairs, let's say this gray, by holding Alt, and then click on the new selection and you fill that selection with that color. Then change the blending mode to multiply and press Ctrl T and right click and flip it vertically, and then you can drag it to the bottom part, something like that. And now we need to add it to a perspective, so press Ctrl T again, and if you drag one of the corners and the other one, you can add it like a nice perspective to the cat and the wings, something like that. And then I'm going to filter, and here on blur I choose motion blur, and we are going to add a motion blur to our shadow, and I will keep the angle to 0 and the distance something like that, and hit OK. And then add a mask, and with the black color selected we are going to paint and to keep just the parts that we want. That's how I created the shadow. So I have this picture with the astronaut. This is the original picture, and it was a simple selection, really easy. You can go to or press W, and here you can choose object selection tool and draw a rectangle around him, and Photoshop will select him. And then underneath the astronaut we need two shadows. The first shadow is a contact shadow, and the other one is the long or the bigger shadow. So as I explained you create, for the contact shadow we create a new layer, set it to multiply, and because we just used that oval shape, I'm going to use it again, and we already have this dark color where I'm going to use that. So now if I paint beneath the astronaut, we have a really nice contact shadow. And then with the same idea we are going to create a new layer. So after you create a new layer, hold Ctrl and click on the thumbnail of the astronaut, and then on that newly created layer press the letter G for the paint bucket tool and fill that selection with that color. And now blending mode should be multiply. So Ctrl T, right click on the screen and choose flip vertically, and then drag that shadow underneath your astronaut. And because the shadow is too perpendicular, we need to have a perspective. So now let's zoom out a bit and press Ctrl T. And now after you press Ctrl T, right click and choose perspective. Hold Shift, and if you drag the bottom part, you'll see you'll have to guide yourself. Let's zoom in. So this line of the perspective should have the same line that we have here on the bridge. So this line should be parallel with our line to have the shadow in the same direction. So after that, just double click and then go to Filter, Blur, and choose Motion Blur. And the distance here should be smaller, and hit OK. Add a mask, and now choose again another soft brush, and if you paint, it will make that shadow disappear a bit more. So I added a selective color and made everything red by modifying the cyan and magenta and yellow and black. And then I didn't really like this color, so I added a channel mixer, and on the channel mixer that you can find here on the adjustment layers, here is the channel mixer, I just modified the reds. And then I added the same soft light with 50% gray and added the dark parts on the bottom part of our astronaut. And then I wanted to desaturate the bottom part of our astronaut. His body should be a bit desaturated on the bottom part, so I just desaturated by using a hue and saturation and mask everything else. So yeah, this is what we have so far. And then I just wanted to have some grass around the bridge, and I added a lot of layers. Let me quickly show you what we have. So I added this layer, then another one, and so on until we had some grass around our bridge. And yeah, this is the grass that we have. Of course, the grass is not the same color as our grass, and for that we used a selective color and changed the color of the grass. And then I added brightness and contrast and decreased the brightness to have a better match of the colors. And then I added a camera raw filter and some blur gallery, some tilt shift blur, and some oil paint. So let me quickly explain you how to do this. So create a screenshot of everything by pressing Ctrl Shift and I. So if you press that combination, you'll have a screenshot from your design. Alright, and then right click and convert it to a smart object. Now let's apply that tilt shift blur. Go to filter, and then on the blur gallery choose tilt shift blur. Alright, so now in the center of the image you have the focus and everything else is blurred. So now we need to change a bit this. So I'm dragging this center to the bottom part, something like that, and then this line I'm dragging it to the top to have also the cat in focus and something like that, and then you hit OK. Let me show you the difference. So this is the normal way and this is with the tilt shift blur, so I think it looks much better with the blur. And then I added some oil paint. Go to filter, choose stylize, and here choose oil paint, and I kept all the settings to minimum and then hit OK. And the last one is camera raw filter. So go to filter and here choose camera raw filter. So on the camera raw filter that you will open, I change the basics. So on the temperature, I decrease the temperature, and the others, as I always do, decrease the highlights and the whites and increase the exposure, contrast, shadows, and depending on the lights conditions, usually I increase the blacks, but this time I decrease the blacks. And then I increase the texture, clarity, and the haze. And what I did here on the detail part, I increased the noise reduction and color noise reduction, and on the color grading I played a bit with midtones, shadows, and highlights. Alright, so this is what we have so far, and I just realized that our picture needs more sharpening, so let's add some more sharpening. So go to filter, and here on sharpen, use smart sharpen. And let's see the differences. This is a preview. If you increase the amount, it will add more sharpen. if you lower the amount, it will keep the original sharpening. So let's increase the sharpening to around 160 and then hit OK. And I think now it looks much better. And I have some small adjustments and then we are done. So I added exposure adjustment layer to have the bottom part darken, and then at the end I added a high pass filter, which is really important to add more sharpening to the image. So press again Ctrl Shift and I to create a screenshot of what we have so far. Go to filter, other, high pass, and here I use 0.3, hit OK, and then change the blending mode to vivid light or linear light depending on your preferences. So let's choose linear light, and I know that you don't see that much difference. Let's zoom in to see if we can see better, and then let's hide the layer. So this is without the high pass and this is with the high pass. I think if you zoom in on the tutorial, on the video, you'll see the differences also. So yeah, adding a high pass filter really helps and makes the picture looks really nice. And at the end, I just wanted to have my Mr. 23 on top of his helmet. So thank you so much for your support. I have this channel for 1 year and 1 month, and I just want to express my gratitude for your messages and for your support that you showed me in this year. So thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it by now, and also follow me on Instagram where I can talk to you and answer your messages. So thank you again and see you next time.